Welcome back to the up and down matches. We have Flash currently 2-0. We're going to take a look at the rest of the scores, of course, but he's looking pretty dominant. We have Seed falling to him in the first round, and of course, Sirius not looking so good there in his last game either.
Yeah, here we have the standings, a 2-0 for Flash, Ryang a second, close second with 1 win so far. After 1 game, SuperNova and Seed and Sirius with losses in their matches. And the next game that we are going to see will be between SuperNova and Seed. The Protoss versus Terran once again.
Yeah, the map is going to be on Daybreak. A little bit different. There's no favoring here of either race. This is the most balanced map in the entire map pool right now. That's why the new map, Vestige, actually looks basically exactly the same as it. With a cooler terrain. But it's the style of map that most people tend to like, where you have a really well-spaced out third base. It's easy to defend for all races. And that's kind of how the map goes down to the fourth base. It varies whichever one you want to take. You can take the smaller one with less minerals. You can take the one that's a little bit further away.
And right now we are in a situation where both of these players are down a map already, so it's quite important to win this game. After this we have Ryang against Sirius and then SuperNova versus Flash, and depending on how these games go, Flash could actually already get into Code S with a win in his third game. Currently though we have Seed playing SuperNova, and here we have the two of them. Both of them lost. Seed lost to Flash and SuperNova lost to Ryang. SuperNova just in general lately a bit struggling against Protoss.
Yeah,
that could help Seed a lot here. But we're gonna find out. Daybreak, as mentioned, the map in this game is the 4th set here at the Up and Downs. This is Group D. We're heading into the game right now. SuperNova versus Seed here at the GSL, and we're gonna find out who will be able to tie his score and who will have a shot at Code S.
It's gonna be awesome to see. SuperNova wants that ST award. Just got to get out of this group first. And up against the GSL champion Seed. This is the GSL Up and Downs, cast by Calder and Wolf. In the game on Daybreak.
Game on. Bottom left we have in red a Terran player. He starts for a European team, starts for MTW. He's brighter than the sun. He's
MTW SuperNova.
Yeah. His nickname is not Win. That's reserved for Flash.
I like the simplicity of the hoodie. It's just totally white and you have MTW in the corner.
Top right we have his opponent. A former champion. Not successful in game number 1. He might be able to succeed in game number 2. He's up against the Terran once again. He is
LGIM Seed.
LGIM Seed indeed.
I find his jersey a little bit more stylish. That SCV is trying to figure out exactly where he wants to build the barracks. Then he decides, of course, he's going to build it exactly where SuperNova tells him, at the correct location to make a wall, so he can deny Seed scouting whether or not he takes a gas very soon here.
Barracks and Gateway both at 12 supply. Scouting going on for Seed here.
And he is going to take a gas, in fact, SuperNova that is. SuperNova loves to be aggressive on this map against Protoss. We've seen him win games just because of his aggression, where his opponent is way out economying him, but he just uses the small group of units so cost efficiently that he's able to defeat his opponent.
You know, in this group, if I had to pick 3 players, or if someone asked me, okay, who in your opinion are the players that have the most pressure on their shoulders, I would name Flash, Seed and SuperNova. Flash because it's what people expect. He is a Brood War legend, so people expect him to do well in Starcraft 2. They expect him to go to Code S. He has so many fans that cheer for him. On the other hand, you have Seed, a former champion. Just recently he was able to win against MC in Busan, so everyone is like, yes, he belongs in Code S. And then you have SuperNova, who would be in Code S for the 10th time in a row, getting that ST award. I don't want to take anything away from Young or Sirius here, but I think that they don't have as much pressure. Of course, they also want to advance, no question about that. But still, it's a lot of pressure for these 3 guys.
Yeah, and you know, for Young, he is going to be looking to find a new team. I'm sure he's already in talks with people, but you know, that when you're in that type of scenario, you want to make sure that you look the most appealing to anyone who's interested in you. And so therefore, being in Code A versus being in Code S is a pretty big difference going forward. So I think that's really important for him to take this win as well. Now, so far, Seed is completely shut down with his scouting. He doesn't know what's going on. He still makes the Nexus before going for that second gas. And again, SuperNova is able to see this. Players are getting really good at spotting those Nexi. If you know that you can just get in there and do that, you get to see the Nexus, you feel so good.
The bunker is already building for SuperNova, who wants to be safe. Better safe than sorry here. And, of course, he will start his own command center pretty soon. Moves to the left side with one of his SCVs. And there it is. Boom.
By the way, Seed cut Stalker production to get a faster Nexus. This is not a normally timed Nexus. This is a bit of a rush. And SuperNova is going to be going for Reactor Hellions to pressure that Nexus. When he saw it come out that fast, he also saw there was no Stalker to chase his SCV away. He's going to feel pretty good with this Reactor Hellion pressure. It's going to be so hard to stop with a low Stalker count. He's not going to be able to likely get into the main base or anything like that, but he's going to be able to stop mining at the natural. He's not going for drops. That's something really important to note here.
We have sentries now coming up for Seed, so you should be able to force field the ramp if need be. SuperNova is definitely not getting a medivac in time to elevator into the base with the build that he has, so he has to rely on the ground. And Seed is going for the robotics here, even before he gets the additional gates. So at this point, he has the Nexus, the expansion a lot faster, is already ahead in the worker count, and this will only increase since he's now able to build 2 probes at a time, whereas SuperNova... Plus the Chrono Boost, exactly. SuperNova, on the other hand, has to finish his command center and then also upgrade into an orbital before he can use it.
The Hellions were hidden until this very moment. He's now moving out with all 4 of them, and this could be a bit of a surprise. SuperNova starts a 3rd command center right now. This is not what I expected. He may start siege tank production here as well, but he is reactoring out those Marines now that he's switched his add-on. Right now, there are only 2 sentries and a Stalker to defend here. He is going to be very hard-pressed to defend his probes at the natural. As you mentioned, with a force field, he should be able to stop the Hellions from getting into the main, but the natural is basically fair game right now. Here they come. Seed has no idea right now.
Hellions on the move and taking down the first few harvesters immediately. They try to rally back. A nice force field, but a few probes are still trapped, and he kills all of them.
And all 4 Hellions are still alive.
Yeah, well, now 2 died, but 7 workers killed, and 2 Hellions escape. That's an awesome trade. That's 200 minerals for the Hellions, and you don't only kill the mining time, but you take down 7 harvesters that your opponent has to reproduce. That was well worth it.
Yeah, with the Hellions alive, feels pretty good here. Problem for him, though, is that he wasn't able to equalize the harvester count. That's why he's got this 3rd command center coming up, because he knows the potential for not doing the maximum amount of damage is there. So he's going to have 3 bases up. He's going to be able to use these Hellions to backstab if he pays attention. He will need to move these off the watchtower. That was close.
The harvester count is still in favor of Seed by roughly 10 probes. But of course, the 3rd base, as mentioned, that's going to be an issue. And so far, Seed did not scout it. The Observer is heading into his main base, but Seed doesn't really know what's going on at the 3rd. He will have to scout it, and then he can, of course, just react, can do something about it. But so far, he has no clue. And SuperNova decides that it's time to drop the double engineering bay, wants to go into the fast upgrades. Seed is getting his own forges, though, a really upgrade-heavy style, and immediately the Twilight Council.
I didn't expect him to play quite so textbook to follow this up. A lot of players would go into siege tank production from here to hold their natural against any possible 2-base aggression that they might find against the Protoss player, and or to use them to be aggressive on the Protoss player's 3rd if that comes down. But he's just totally cutting that out of the build here. He's going right into a reactor on that factory so he can switch and make the medevacs, getting stim, and as you already mentioned, the e-bays. So very textbook follow-up here by SuperNova going into that bio that we all know and love, and some people hate, but we'll see if Seed's going to learn to hate it in this game.
Yeah, one of the big problems now for Seed is that this 3rd base is starting to work in SuperNova's favor. He's definitely starting to capitalize on it, which is why Seed is now moving out. Could you double check the vision for me? I'm not quite sure if he saw it.
I'm pretty sure he didn't see it.
Up to this point?
Now he just saw it with the Observer.
Observer is now in there. There it is.
And SuperNova doesn't know that he knows. He's making bunkers at the 3rd. Now he picks it up because he knows.
Yeah, he saw the pylon that was warped in and saw the army, so he knew what was coming and that he was not able to defend.
Not being able to catch the Observer just is really critical, because if he had caught the Observer would not have been able to see that.
But the thing is, he didn't lose a lot. He still has the 3rd command center. He can still use it for the triple SCV production. He didn't lose any harvesters. Seed is getting his own 3rd base though, and now starts to poke, but he won't be able to break through.
Yeah, no way. The SCVs get pulled off here as well.
Not with 3 bunkers.
The thing is that Seed is going for Storm back at home, and he's got this pressure on SuperNova. SuperNova has to keep those bunkers. He doesn't have his 3rd base up. Well, he's got his 3rd up at the same time, getting those gases immediately as well. I like the choice in this case to get Storm before Colossi, because with the tech that he's seen from his opponent, he knows the medevac count is not going to be that high just yet, and he's going to be able to get those Templar out really safely, especially considering he was able to put that much pressure on Scare SuperNova to hide behind 3 bunkers. That buys him exactly what he needs, the time to get that Storm out.
And now the Storm is nearly completed. +1/+1 is also on the, is done in just a second. And knowing Seed, he will most likely start with the second set of upgrades pretty soon. Usually not wasting too much time with his upgrades. Not just yet. Well, apparently
he doesn't have the resources yet because of those gates.
Yeah, he just dumped them into the gates, exactly. I expected him to start the upgrades a lot faster though. Now we have SuperNova with a +2 attack upgrade, and he wants to get the Combat Shield and Concussive Shell too. There's the set of upgrades for Seed a little bit later, waiting for these resources, but still now with the Chrono Boost able to get a little bit ahead.
Seed loses a pylon over here.
Vikings now for SuperNova. Well, he's already preparing for Colossi, but so far there aren't any.
Yeah, this could actually become a big problem for him, because with Vikings out uselessly, it's not going to be a good situation.
Yeah, the problem is he only has 4 medivacs, and he now feels that he needs Vikings, because if there are Colossi, then he has to do something about it, but that cuts into his medivac production.
This is why it's so important to actually be able to scout composition-wise. This is why so many players will actually send a Marine in to try to see if there are any Colossi or go for a scan at the natural. Seed kept his army in the middle of his 2 bases for one reason, that he would dodge scans that way, but also so he can bounce from the base a lot faster against drop play and multi-prong harass like SuperNova is about to start, with 2 medevac drops on both sides of the map.
The funny thing is that one of the medivacs, or 2 of the medivacs that drop to the top left, is completely empty.
Yeah, I don't think it's intentional either with how he's controlling. I know, yeah, he pulls back.
Yeah, tries to run in at the third. There are 2 cannons and zealots, as well as Templar. No way that he's going to take this base down.
That's exactly what those cannons are for. They help against ghosts, but in the case that we just saw, if you run in a group of 4 Marines, you might be able to snipe a Templar, but with the DPS of the Storm plus the cannons, you'll never be able to actually get that off. It won't be worth it. Great choice to make those extra cannons, dump some of those extra resources that he's got. Seed has his 3rd bases up and fortified. He's going for a Templar drop right now, which is really interesting. Will he be able to actually get around there undetected? There is 1 Marine to the north, but there's not one to the very top of the map.
Seed had a lot of resources just a few seconds ago. He really needed those extra gateways that he was producing, because his production just couldn't keep up with his income. +2/+2 for him is now done, and he starts his 2nd robotics facility, also the robotics bay. He really wants to go into double Colossi production. He can pull it off. He has the resources to do it. And talking about resources, SuperNova is now building his 4th base. He has Ghosts on the way. It's a very macro-oriented game that both of them are playing, just heading into this late-game scenario. And here comes the drop.
He doesn't see it until now. Will he react? Whoa, that was actually a really nice reaction. They're pulled into 3 different directions. He did lose a few harvesters. In total, Seed was able to kill 6. But that was a really nice split. That could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, indeed it could have been. SuperNova sees it on the minimap, reacts in time, splits the SCVs very well into different directions. And but now a huge... What is that?
This actually is so positional, because he's chasing down this drop. But at the same time, Seed is going in to attack this 4th base in the middle of the map. He's going to see it on the watchtower. Then he's going to be able to maybe get a cancel and get out. He really has to be so careful about this, though. He does not want to lose his army to Supernovas. There's the cancel, and he should just leave at this point.
Yeah. Forcing the cancel is all that he needs to do. He even dropped 2 force fields at the choke point, because he wanted to make sure that he doesn't get flanked here. Knows about his opponent's ghosts. +3 attack now being researched, and also the armor upgrade for SuperNova. He's really on top of his upgrades.
Yeah, he is.
Same is true for Seed though, both of them.
Seed's upgrade is going to be significantly ahead though. As you were mentioning earlier, with Chrono Boost, that's always just going to be the case in this matchup. But there's going to be a window of time where Seed has better upgrades than SuperNova, plus he's got Storm. Will he also have Colossi range? If he has all 3 of those things, SuperNova fights there, I just don't see this ending in a happy situation for SuperNova.
Yeah, the funny thing is though that a lot of Protoss players, even though they have the upgrade advantage, don't hit these timing windows that they have. One of the few that's really doing it like perfectly is Creator. The EMP was pretty decent though. That was a great EMP, and now he kills the High Templar. Here comes Seed moving in, but he knows that it's a little bit difficult without the Storm. Yeah. Waits, gets the Templar in, drops the Storm here, and SuperNova nearly took a bad hit here.
SuperNova is trying to find an in. He's hit so many EMPs, but SuperNova just doesn't have the ability to move in against this many Templar. There are 5 left. You guys just watched 3 or 4 die there, plus good EMPs, but he's got in total 5 left, and so many of them full on energy because he's had them since several minutes ago. They've been able to build up that energy, and now SuperNova is adding additional ghosts in. He has 6 ghosts in total again at this point. But the problem is his fourth is not mining, whereas Seed is about to have his up and going. It just finished. He's transferring the probes over there now.
And Seed has +3/+3 now. And now he's moving out. He's really trying to hit this timing, but the position is just not a good one for him. So he needs to fall back here. He doesn't get into a position where he can work with his Storm. To the top left, there was a cancel. If I'm pretty sure he canceled the command center he tried to build. A Warp Prism is there and forced him to. Warp Prism speed is coming up. Double Colossi production. More and more Vikings produced for SuperNova. As a reaction to this, donates a few Zealots here, frees up supply.
And the Dark Shrine is going to be really interesting. I wonder how that's going to come into play exactly. There's not a lot of protection set up for SuperNova all over the map right now. Attacking into this location is so difficult as a Terran with this many Templar there. He can't just run in and snipe or EMP them with all these cannons. In total, at this base, he has 4 cannons set up. They're really nicely spread. Here comes one of those ghosts now. He's actually trying to get in. Meanwhile, the Zealots are going to be shut down by that bunker over on the right side.
Kills one of the ghosts at the main fight, also taking down a Viking. Another one about to die. Nice hits on those ghosts. EMP goes off, but only hits a few Stalkers.
He's trying to poke those ghosts down with the Colossi. And there's way too many Colossi in here. He can't fight against this army. His 3-3, though, is finishing. Ghost cloaking is done, so he's going to want to use that somehow.
And he's also going for nukes now. He's getting the first one. He's getting a second Ghost Academy. I really like this decision, especially on a map like Daybreak. Nukes are so powerful. He can just play this very positional game. SuperNova definitely in a good spot when it comes down to that. But on the other hand, Seed has a great bank. Is moving in. Good upgrades. Getting the shield upgrade. And if he gets a few good storms off, in addition to the Colossi area of effect damage, he can take down this army in the blink of an eye.
Yep, the Observer gets taken out here, was spotted by the sensor tower. Those nukes are going to become so important. How will he use them exactly is the question that we're all waiting to see. Will he try to go for a drop into the main base, start hitting the pylons, hit production, or is he just going to try to nuke down a Nexus? That's the most common thing that we've seen with nukes against Hatchery and Nexi. Get the Ghost into an annoying position and just slowly chip away at the Nexus hit points. He could also use the nukes defensively against the army on the ground. That's something we've seen as well. Here comes the first one. He scans, and he will drop the nuke. Actually, first goes for the Templar. He's just going to not nuke here. I like that.
And then with the situation suddenly close burst off, and he's like, run, Forrest, run! Ghost getting out of there. And a nice drop attempt in the main base.
This is going to be for DTs.
Yes, indeed it is.
Only one gets out, though, for the Vikings. Annihilate that Warp Prism. That's a call down supply depot.
Yeah.
He knows how to target them. This is the hunt for the Ghost. The Ghost does get taken out. No nuke available. DT was killed by Vikings, in fact.
A nice observer count. 3 observers in total for Seed. This is definitely going to help him catch all those ghosts. And we saw him build a lot of cannons around those Nexi, which will help him a lot to just keep those ghosts at bay and make sure that they can still nuke, but they won't be in range to take down the probes.
Yeah, he's going to want to nuke the cannons first and then slowly push with the nukes.
Double Warp Prism now, I like it.
Yeah, there's going to be 2 points of warp-ins for him. There's so many Colossi out on the map right now. There are 6 with 8 Templar to support them. The Zealot count is at 24. Both these players are constantly maxed out. They're both building banks, but Seed's bank is much better. And he's warping in DTs again now, 3 of them. He wants to fight here, but I just don't know how good of an engagement this is going to be with 2 planetaries to face. Those are 2 planetaries.
And once again, High Templar gets taken out by the Ghost. EMPs are decent, hitting a lot of sentries here. Doing a great job. Army supply is at this point 130 for both of them. The DTs now trying to walk in. We have a bit of a drop at the bottom right, shut down by Seed, who is now moving into his opponent's natural. He could take down the missile turret here. A nice block at the ramp, really well done.
Yeah, he is very well aware of what's going on here. Great reaction there. DT gets in the main base, kills a depot. He's killing a few harvesters here. This is not too damaging, but it pushes SuperNova's attention away from what's more important, which is denying Seed's base, is getting these nukes off.
And Seed is getting all the upgrades in the book. Yes, the second shield upgrade now being researched. He's just trying to get in there with additional Warp Prisms, and he's getting through. It's close, but he's able to get in there.
Oh, well, will he get it? Oh, he didn't target. He didn't target the Warp Prism. 18 hit points left. The high-sec auto-tracking on those turrets helped out a little bit.
And the main battle in the middle of the map. We currently have a nuke being called down, and Seed is getting out of there, but he dealt a lot of damage to his opponent. Now SuperNova currently lost 9,000 resources against, basically both of them have roughly the same level.
He wants to deny these turrets to the top so he can get a DT in to kill that base, but it looks like it's not going to work out for him.
5 bases for both of them.
This is such an intense game right now. The army supply is so razor thin. It's 123 to 119. It's so close. Blink is being started now.
SuperNova completely fed up with this War Prism Harass. He built 6 additional missile turrets. We also see 2 additional Ghost Academies. He really wants to nuke the hell out of him.
He's just trying to fight here using 1 DT, so a lot of Zealots are taken out, but the DT was not scouted just yet.
In the middle of the map, once again an engagement.
He wants to take out the planetary.
His 5th base, and this time he's in range. There comes a nuke. Tries to nuke the army of Seed. When will Seed fall back? Does he see it?
He misses the Ghost with the Storm, and it is cancelled.
Yeah, it's cancelled now that the Vikings are in pursuit of those Colossi. He needs to take them down.
Yeah, he wants to get these Colossi, and there's not enough Stalkers to defend. He has to actually just run.
Oh, Seed lost a lot of supply here, and now he's being pressured in the main base. The double job heads his way. He warps in units immediately.
Yep, this is going to be cleaned up. A nice scan here to try to reveal those DTs, just simply not enough DPS though. The supply is so even right now. The bank for these two players is no longer anywhere close to each other. Seed has 4,000, 4,000. He's got +3 shields coming out.
SuperNova's just running out of money. And the problem for Seed is that we still have this Medivac alive to the top right, once again being dropped, this time at the natural. Trying to damage. If he picks off and leaves again, he can later on head into the main base once more. And that's exactly what he's planning to do here.
The Stalker to the top left has denied mining at this planetary, has 9 kills. This is just so important for SuperNova because he really needs to get some more mining in. Double Warp Prism here, even with high-sec auto-tracking, it doesn't matter.
Wow. He's really willing to commit resources to this harass, and he should be.
It's so effective, you know, when you have this much bank, you can just warp in a ton of Zealots like this, start to take out those production facilities, get those depots. This is doing virtually nothing if you look at it on the surface, but it draws the attention away again for SuperNova. Seed still has the bank, he's still mining for more bases right now.
And he wants to storm, the economy. By now the Stalker is dead that we already saw earlier to the top left. He goes in, calls the storm, and another one kills the Marauder and also a few SCVs.
And the
harvest account is now 43 against 61 in favor of Seed. Both of them are 5 bases, but the bank for the LGIM Protoss is just insane.
The supply is just, it's whatever Seed wants it to be, man. He every time he loses 30 supply, he has to think for a minute what he wants. Oh, this can't happen.
No, it's not gonna happen. Seed is paying attention. As soon as he hears that there's a nuclear launch somewhere, he checks his army, he checks his bases. With the cannon that he has on the map, he knows that there is no position where SuperNova can actually target the probes.
This bunker, if it's not repaired, will actually go down, but he does repair it. With +3 shields coming out, all of the units of Seed are so beefy at this point. DT is trying to go up to the main mining base to the top left. He's going to be able to deflect it. With high-sec auto-tracking, that planetary's Ibix cannon just fires so far.
He's getting so many cannons now, Seed that is, because he wants to make sure that there's no additional drop in his base. I can't believe that this factory, by the way, is still alive.
Yeah, that's actually kind of...
the scouting factory in the middle of Seed's half of the map.
Almost full hit points, too.
Yeah, it's just found the sweet spot where it can't be attacked.
The Steel frame is on the map. That's the upgrade for bunkers that gives you 6 slots, for those who don't know. A storm here on the Vikings, a great choice. He doesn't kill all of them, but they're all heavily damaged. These are not units that SuperNova can replace very easily. Replacing Templar normally in almost any circumstance is hard, but in this case for Seed, he could make a total of like 20 Templar at once if he wanted to.
The question is, why would you get the Steel frame upgrade if you don't have this many bunkers in the first place and you don't have the resources?
It's a bit baffling to me myself.
At this point, he could just try to use the extra resources to get another nuke, for example. There we have one. Once again, he wants to prevent this base. Look at the ghost count here.
He actually will not be able to stop this nuke.
Yeah, but he won't lose anything either.
He won't have to cancel the Nexus, he just cancels the cannon. The Nexus will take some damage.
Yeah, but only shield damage. 16 ghosts on the map.
This is getting scary though. If SuperNova takes one fight, he can still win this game. The bank doesn't matter when both players are maxed out. Obviously, SuperNova's not quite there, but he almost is. And
yeah, but Seed has so many gateways that he can just remax after the fight. There's so many small skirmishes, and they're starting to take its soul from SuperNova.
He's going to get this Nexus. He'll just cancel the nuke at the last second. Well, unless this situation occurs, he needs to get that Ghost.
A nice task force to the top left, by the way.
Nexus does die here.
The Nexus does die indeed, but the top left might also bite it.
I don't know how... He's got building armor here, but if he doesn't repair immediately, he may lose his planetary. It's going to be very close.
Without High Templars for Storms, I think he might be able to hold it. The SCVs die, and now he isn't able to repair.
Yeah, he waited
nice
too
focus.
long.
Nice focus here by Seed. Targets down the SCVs, then there's no repair possible anymore.
This is such a great trade for him. He's able to trade those Zealots for an entire base. He knows his opponent's low on mining. Now he's poking around over here. He's just finding openings, and he's using them. He's going to kill some Harvesters. I don't think committing to attacking the planetary is necessarily a good choice. He doesn't have enough attacking units here.
Yeah, but he can't do it. As soon as the cooldowns are ready, he can warp in another set of units. He has so many resources. SuperNova will never be able to keep up with this. The gateway count is now at what? Roughly 20, maybe even more?
I think he has more than that. I'm just clicking on as many as I see. Yeah, it's about 20. 18 to 20 right now.
That's insane. He goes for double Colossus again. 180 supply against 150 and still 4,700 minerals.
SuperNova trying to get another nuke off here. He needs to target down that Ghost.
And SuperNova is running out of Vikings and Medivacs. He needs to be really careful. He is so low on minerals.
Yeah, C just needs to wait for more warp ends. He's getting 6 more. He's getting 2 Colossi at a time consistently here. And as you said, yeah, the Viking count is getting a little bit lower. Which makes the Colossi sword to do.
Oh, nice Storm.
Yeah, we haven't seen a Storm on an army in a while, in fact, mostly being used on the economy. Seed is showing just how well you can harass in all stages of the game, from early game to mid game to late game, without a problem. Even when your opponent has 4 or 5 turrets of high-sec auto-tracking, yeah, you can still get those speed warp prisms in. Yeah, you can still put the Stalkers behind the planetary at the top left. He is just really out-macroing and out-multitasking SuperNova in this game. Another Storm drop!
Oh, wow, that did a lot of damage. Forza, yeah, these units are taking a lot of hits, and the problem is there are only 3 Medivacs, and with only 3 Medivacs, he can't heal his army.
Exactly, he only has 23 SCVs left. His income right now is 500 minerals per minute, whereas even with 5,000 minerals in the bank, Seed is still getting 1.6 per minute.
You can literally see how this game is snowballing out of SuperNova's control. He is just not able to give up. There is too much happening here. He's even losing the base to the top left again because he cannot repair. Even with his army heading there, he cannot save the planetary. It is dead. It was destroyed. And it's just too much. He's down to 150 supply. Seed will be able to max out, and he's once again trying to get this in the middle.
I think he can get it this time. It's already down to 800 hit points. He starts the repair. If he doesn't want it, he can ignore it. And that's what he's going to do. He keeps a Templar here to stop units with Storms. There's a line of sight blocker there.
God. Oh, God. Ouch.
And that may be the nail in the coffin. I don't think he can defend this planetary anymore. He barely has any resources left. He can't even repair. He doesn't have the money. He can't repair a building.
They called Flash God. They should call Seed Thor. He's definitely the God of Thunder here.
Yeah, dropping these Storms like it doesn't matter.
This was just brutal. I mean, the entire army was clustered up, and he hits 3 Storms in the middle, in the heart of SuperNova's army, doing so much damage. And without the Medivac count, you just can't heal them.
It was such a beautiful trap, too. He had his Templar inside the line of sight blocker on the Watchtower, so they had vision. They couldn't be seen. He baits him in by going into the natural. SuperNova runs everything over, and then boom, double Storm. A nuke goes down, but I don't think it's going to last.
This time he wants to go in, he wants to kill the Ghost, and the Ghost is already dead. No nuke to take down the army of Seed, who is still at 5,000 minerals.
There are 18 High Templar. There are more High Templar than there are Marauders. There are almost more High Templar than there are SCVs.
Storms wow. He's going for the effects here. GG. SuperNova loses the game, and the chances for him to get into the next season of Goddess are becoming slimmer and slimmer. Seed now with a 1-1 score in the group. SuperNova down 2 games. And the opponents that he has to face next are called Flash and Sirius.
Indeed. Well, that situation we saw was one where oftentimes when you get to that max out versus max army, both players struggle to engage each other, and it's a matter of, okay, nukes, nuke defense, and how do I get my concave? But not in this game. This game was how many warp prisms did Seed lose that game? Probably over 15, but he made them, and he made them work. He went into the main base, he went into the top expansion with the planetary, he had a Stalker back there, he had Storm drops. He did not stop. How many DTs did he lose that game? Probably 30, maybe even more than that. But he made them worth it. He made his opponent's bank disappear. He made 18 gateways and warped in zealots every time his army died. He wore SuperNova down.
Yep, the turn-on player just didn't have an answer for this much Protoss aggression. And the Storms, in the end, they killed him. Seed takes a very important win. SuperNova down 2 games, and we are heading into the next match. Ryung against Sirius. And guys, if you're currently watching and you want to chat with a few people who are currently watching these games live as well, check out the IRC channel of GOMTV. Check out #GSL at QuakeNet.
Yeah, a lot of cool people in that chat. Just like you could be there too. Don't watch alone.
Yeah, it's always more fun to watch with a few friends or people online.
Get your roommate who's in the other room watching The Office or something, so you can watch that some other time. This is more important. Get him to watch with you.
The next map is going to be Whirlwind. We have a Zerg versus Terran. Sirius lost his first game against Flash. This is his second game that he plays today. Ryung, on the other hand, he won against SuperNova earlier. If he's able to take down Sirius, he will be on exactly the same map score as Flash. Can he do it? We're gonna find out right now. This is, of course, one of the games that is probably a little bit better for Sirius. The map, at least, is. Heading into the game right now, we're here at the GSL Up and Downs Group D. The match between Sirius and Ryung coming up.